Hey guys, so today I'm at the INK Hotel at the MGallery and I will be interviewing Ines de la Fressange about her collaboration with the MGallery. So let's go in, see what is happening and ask Ines some questions. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me. First of all, I wanted to ask how you got involved with the collaboration with the INK Hotel.
And then actually I'm ambassador for MGallery.
Okay.
And then MGallery, it's a group of hotels, and each of these hotels have a lot of identity. They're all very, very different, and they all have a story. Mm-hmm. And then it's linked to literature or to movies, and they're all hotels with a lot of charm.
Yes.
And then here, the INK Hotel, I absolutely wanted to see it because I knew before it was a magazine and they were a newspaper, and they were printing the paper there, and that the decoration, the whole thing was very different. And it's open since 4 years, I think, already.
Yeah.
And then that's why I'm here in Amsterdam to discover the place.
Oh, that's nice. And I read your book, Living as a Parisian. I got it for Christmas, and I think after 2 days I read it all because I absolutely loved it. But what was like your inspiration, or what is your daily inspiration when it comes to designing, creating spaces? Because I grab your book if I need inspiration, but
I thought I started to do a book about style called La Parisienne, talking about the Parisian style for fashion. Mm-hmm. I was quite successful, and after I realized there were a style also for decoration in Paris, but it didn't have really a name. It's not vintage, it's not 18th century or design, and it's rather young people. They find things at the flea market, they repair things or repaint things, and they mixed up expensive things with very low price things. Sometimes furniture they can find in the streets, you know. Mm-hmm. And this decoration doesn't really have a name, and it's not done by professional people, not done by famous decorators and all. And usually it's not really very, very wealthy people who are doing that, and they just have talent and they do it themselves. Yes. And I think it could be an inspiration for many people. And then I have this young friend called Maison, and he's like an adopted little brother. Mm-hmm. We just have exactly the same taste.
Oh, that's perfect.
And he used to be an antique dealer. He used to do a filmmaker, and now he has a brand. He's doing things for decoration. He's doing really many, many things. And each time I discover a new place in Paris, like a new shop, he just loves it, and each time he tells me, oh, you should go to this restaurant or this shop. It's just exactly the kind of things I like. Yeah. That's why we decided to do this book together, and showing places that I knew or places he knew.
Yeah. I loved it, and it's nice to hear the story behind, because I also read the book How to Be a Parisian. I think it was like a few years ago, and it's nice that how you explain like how you transform the Parisian style more into interior than only dressing.
I think it's nice, to be inspired, and there's like advices, like if you have similar things in your place, because sometimes we always buy the same kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's nice to put it all together.
Yeah,
and then there are like, there's like bottles and all. Sometimes when things are together, and then each time there's something in the flat that we liked. Mahan did a watercolor about all the things we preferred in the flat.
Yeah.
It was great fun finally to do that.
Yeah. And how long did it take to create the book?
It rather takes like a year, because first we have to talk about it, and for me it's important all the time to have a lot of documents, because it's not that you want to read it like a normal book, especially when it has this size. And then all the graphism and the general appearance is important, and we had to fix all that before. And after we had to do the pictures and
stories.
Yeah. And it usually takes at least a year.
Yeah. But a fun journey, I can imagine. A lot of really inspiring journey to create such a book.
And you know, today images, they go so quickly. We're all on Instagram and we don't even remember what we saw the day before. And it's the thing, it's not to criticize, but there's all these information and images that we all receive. But sometimes we want to keep the images, you know. Even if you go on Pinterest, you can do some things and keep them. But you have it on your iPad or your telephone. But a book is something different.
You can touch it.
And people, they're happy, you know, to have their flat picture. And I did a book also about men and style for men, because many men are very concerned by the way they look. Sometimes they don't dare to say it. Then I decided to take friends and people I like their style, and then it can be lawyers, old men, very young men, people very from fashion, or teenagers, but they all had a style, you know? And they all accepted, you know, because it's a book and that you keep it, and with a great photographer. And at this time where people are talking so much about social medias and thinking that books are going to disappear, no. And I think, you know, social medias and internet can talk about a book.
Yeah, I love that.
It's not against.
Yeah, that's great. But and besides, like, to the book and the people you know and the things you see, what inspires you like the most, or besides the web, Instagram, Pinterest?
Holidays.
Oh yeah, yeah, same for me.
And no, I say that halfly joking, you know. But nowadays, if you work in an office, you know, you go out from your place to your office, and immediately you have 10 mails to see and things to check, and then you stay at the office, and it's easy to work a lot and to stay at the office. And I really think it's important to learn how to go out from your office.
Yeah.
And because things happen, you meet people. There's a word that I love, which is serendipity.
Yeah.
Things happening without you deciding or imagining things. And for all kind of work, it brings creativity and opportunities, and to take time to be open to the world. And I think most of the people don't take enough holidays. In Europe, we're not so bad. When you go to Asia, it's awful.
Yeah.
You ask them and they say, oh, I had 4 days of holidays. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And there's this new prejudice about working. I think it's important to do things, to be creative, to enjoy what you do, and but not to spend too much time at the office.
Yeah. So your advice is travel and explore.
Yeah, but for the company, for companies, for the business, going out is always better.
Yeah.
And you know, I think managers, they should know that if people who are working for their companies have more free time, have more time to socialize, to see their families, people they love, to go out, it's going to be better for the company. I'm very, very sure about that.
Yeah.
And then, and I noticed, you know, if I go on holidays in India, for instance, to go back to your original question, I think it's very inspiring, you know, but you just need at least 2 weeks to travel.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
But also, you know, I have 2 daughters and very young, and they have many friends, And I love this generation. I think they're so kind, they're so nice, and they're so cosmopolites, you know, this generation. They see all these serials on TV. I don't know why, but I think it's like a small world, you know, they all travel and move and have friends all over the world. And this is very inspiring too, you know, not to be fixed to your country.
Yeah. Are your daughters a lot like you?
They're much better. They're much more clever, and they did very, very difficult, important studies. They're less mean than me. They don't say bad things about other people all the time. Me, I'm very French. It's not that I do gossip, but you know, I complain and all. They don't complain. And they're fun, and they have so many friends, and they know many things about, you know, movies, that in the history of the cinema, you know, things that was 40 years ago. I mean, this is real culture about music, you know, and they know what's going on today, but they can listen Jimi Hendrix or Bob Dylan. I said, but we were listening to this music when we were teenagers, but they know all about it, you know. They arrive and, do you know Crosby, Stills and Nash? And yeah, but that was the 70s, how do you know that?
So they can really relate.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Yeah, you know? It is. When is the next book coming? Because I'm like waiting for a part 2 of Living as a Parisian.
I have many ideas. And then there's one book I'm preparing because I had a newsletter that I was doing every week called laletredines.com, like the letter of Ines.com, and giving addresses in Paris or advices and all. But I was doing that myself, you know, with my camera and writing myself and all. But now there's a lot of people reading it, but they didn't have the first one. And then maybe I'll do a book to group all these first letters.
That's nice.
And after I realized there's many people, many women of a certain age, maybe your mother, your grandmother, and sometimes they don't have a lot of images of other women of their age in the magazines, and then I would like to show women of a certain age but with style.
Yeah. And
this is an idea. And there's another idea of book. I have too many ideas. Usually I should cool down.
Sometimes you need more hours in a day and more days in a week, right?
No, I have a lot of enthusiasm.
That's great.
And but after, if you want more holidays, sometimes you should shut up.
Yeah. So that's what we do now, unfortunately.
It was great to meet you.
Great to meet you too. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming there at the INK Hotel.
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's a great hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's really.
cool.
I love this in the center and
it's
like
really
this
nice.
hidden gem in the city.